Last Versus video, we analyzed clone troopers and First Order stormtroopers, and who was more likely to win if they were to come into conflict with one another one-on-one. Welcome to another Star Wars Versus series video, where today we are going to bring it a step further and see who would win in a fight between their respective captains and leaders. The clone captain CT-7567, who would eventually be known as Captain Rex, will be squaring off with our newest First Order captain, Captain Phasma. So what exactly makes these characters so formidable? What capabilities and combative prowess granted them such rank, and how would they fare in a fight against each other? Before we begin, I would like to mention that Captain Rex has lived through a lot of the Star Wars universe and history, and has made multiple appearances throughout different parts of Star Wars, such as his time as a clone trooper fighting along Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan in the Clone Wars, or fighting with the Ghost Crew against the Sinister Empire. Because of this, for the purpose of this video, I will just be examining Rex in his prime, which is during the latter half of the Clone Wars. With an outstanding number of accomplishments and fighting in more battles than we can possibly count, it's no wonder why Rex has the reputation that he does. He became so highly regarded and respected, he would even become Anakin Skywalker's second-in-command, working alongside of legends like Obi-Wan Kenobi, Ahsoka, and Commander Cody. Serving in the 501st Legion, Rex's life took a turn when Anakin turned to the dark side and helped execute Order 66 alongside the other clones, resulting in the rise of the Empire and destruction of the Galactic Republic. Captain Rex had the courage and foresight to not carry out the order, and removed the organic chip placed in his brain along with his brothers Gregor and Wolf, which allowed them to disobey the order. This ensured that they did not betray their Jedi companions and friends. Rex spent the latter portion of his accelerated life fighting against the Empire, even rumored to be one of the older members of the Endor strike team of rebels in Return of the Jedi. This period of time would be the hardest transition in Rex's life as a warrior that loved to serve and felt honored to fight for justice, to see his doubts about the clone army come to fruition and watch his many accomplishments crumble before his eyes. As the esteemed captain he was, he had the equipment and the genetic makeup of a prime human being. Like all clones, he was an identical copy of the infamous bounty hunter Jango Fett. This guaranteed he was at the peak of his physical condition and would always be ready for any confrontation. He had specialized armor that was personally modified with distinctive blue accents on it to make him stand out from other clones. Rex's armor was also covered in tally marks that are never fully explained as to what they were, but it is speculated that they could represent the number of kills or battles he has engaged in. Rex would also sport two DC-17 blaster pistols in combat due to his fighting style being very hands-on and aggressive. Rex was, however, not limited to as he could use a plethora of others. We have even seen Rex fight against giant monsters with his bare hands, most recently in Star Wars Rebels as he fought off a horde of knobby white spiders with weapons. Captain Rex is a true warrior that will face any challenge and fight for what he believes is right, keeping an open mind so to not repeat the mistakes of his fellow once comrades. Rex was also a master at blaster bolt evasion and was shown not only on multiple occasions but frequently being able to dodge multiple blaster bolts simultaneously. Rex was an expert marksman and hand-to-hand fighter, excelling far past the training he received on Kamino. Rex even displayed the strength to break a droid commando's neck with his bare hands. Now that we have analyzed the famous 501st Captain, let's move on to the fearsome First Order leader, Captain Phasma. Granted, Phasma has had a lot less exposure in the Star Wars universe than Captain Rex as of right now. We do have a good amount of information on her, and exposed to her more in Star Wars Episode 8 and future works of the franchise, though. With an undying loyalty to the First Order and its cause, Captain Phasma became well respected by both her leaders and the stormtroopers under her command. Phasma was known to take charge, and instead of getting comfortable with her elevated rank, would often fight on the front lines with her soldiers, earning her an elevated reputation among her constituents. Phasma is known as a perfectionist and focuses on keeping her body in peak physical condition as it was needed to complete even her most mundane tasks. This included routinely patrolling the Starkiller base, often taking time to walk dozens of miles a day to complete her route. Phasma even took it upon herself to memorize the titles of all her stormtroopers for more efficient communication. She clearly demonstrated a work ethic like no other, went above and beyond what was expected of her, even once stating that the real stormtroopers were an extension of the Supreme Leader's will, nothing less. As a likely former stormtrooper herself, it is possible that the First Order raised her from birth and trained her into the warrior that she has become today. Phasma most likely received similar, if not the same, training as the other stormtroopers. This probably entailed grueling sparring drills and the learning and memorization of many First Order codes and beliefs. Eventually, once Phasma was promoted, it became her responsibility to train many of the stormtroopers, with some of her students the greats, such as or among fans, traitor. The thing that really makes Captain Phasma stick out is her trademark chrome armor. Her armor has more significance in the context of the First Order than most people may think. The armor is coated in chromium that was salvaged from the Sith leader Emperor Palpatine's yacht on Naboo to provide a symbol of past power to the First Order. This helped members of the First Order to remember how easy it can be for even the most powerful organizations to fall, while at the same time enforcing the more pro-Empire, pro-First Order propaganda to keep passions high. The armor was also incredibly strong, protecting Phasma from blaster fire and blunt force attacks, and even protected her from radiation due to the reflective surface of her suit. The suit was strong enough that it is speculated that it was the factor that saved her from being crushed by the Starkiller's trash compactor in The Force Awakens. One or even two well-placed shots on the armor are simply not going to be enough to drop Phasma permanently. Phasma was a walking metaphor for power and what can happen to it if not cherished. Now it is time for our two captains to meet face to face. This may be the closest versus battle I have ever done, but at the end of the day, I believe that Captain Rex would be victorious in a fight with Captain Phasma. Captain Rex's biggest challenge would be inflicting damage to Captain Phasma with her superior armor, but if anyone can manage it, it would be Rex. Rex was not only bred to be the perfect soldier, but exercised that unnatural advantage his entire life and yielded impressive results. Rex was a diamond among rubies and excelled in nearly every department of his training and fighting. Rex was a near-perfect fighter, leader, and strategist, and although Phasma is likely physically stronger and may have far superior armor, a fantastic driver with a slow car will always pull the win over an amateur with a speed demon. Phasma, although a physical specimen, simply does not compare to the combative skill of the clone captain. Captain Rex would overmatch Phasma to the point where Phasma would exhaust, and Rex could deliver the winning blow. Rex also has a particular advantage with his open-mindedness. The reason Captain Rex was so resourceful and able to survive longer than most other clones is that he always was able to evaluate different situations and make the correct decisions to assure his survival. Captain Phasma, on the other hand, seems to be almost brainwashed by the First Order to think a certain way and might not have the best judgment, which was something that was shown in The Force Awakens, as she did not take a stand against Han and Finn and disabled the shields to the Starkiller base, giving the Resistance the perfect opportunity to destroy it. Rex would always put up a fight to protect what he thought was right, especially if it meant saving the lives of his comrades and friends. He would have died long before putting his beliefs and friends in jeopardy like Phasma did. It is for all these reasons that I think Captain Rex would be able to defeat Captain Phasma in a one-on-one fight. Keep in mind, we do have some information on Phasma, but many of her feats are yet to be fully realized, and we are promised to see more of her in action in Episode 8, and after, I would love to revisit this fight after we see the movie. So what do you think? Do you agree that Captain Rex would win this fight, or do you think Captain Phasma would be victorious? Also, who else would you like to see go head-to-head in a versus video? Please tell me in the comments below, and maybe it will become a video. I will see you in the next one, and may the Force be with you. Thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe and follow me on Twitter for updates on the channel. We also have a Patreon if you'd like to help contribute to the channel and